Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ryan, and if you are new here, I make videos about houseplants. Today I am going to be doing a repot. I'll be repotting my monstera Thai constellation. I recently got this from Jack's Jungle on Instagram. She does live auctions on Friday nights, and she also has a website, and she has a ton of awesome plants. But yeah, I was able to snag a monstera Thai constellation, which I'm really excited about. This has been a wish list plant of mine for a couple years now, but I just never thought that this would be a plant that I would be able to get. But yeah, I was able to get that, and then I might also repot my little orchid. I don't know what kind of orchid this is. It has like really tiny purple blooms, but right now it's just in moss, so I'll be repotting this as well. If you would like to see how the repot goes and kind of what my process is for repotting, make sure to keep on watching. So before I start repotting, I was kindly sent some products to try out from this brand closer to you. But yeah, I am going to unbox these products, and then I'm going to make a small batch of my potting mix that I use for monsteras, and then also a small batch that I use for orchids. So the first thing that they sent me was a bag that is 4 quarts of their Orchid Bark. And I think this is going to be a pretty good Orchid Bark because it doesn't have a lot of the like long sticky pieces that just kind of, I don't know, they're not like nice pieces to root things into. And then they also sent me a 1.5 quart bag of their Horticultural Charcoal. I'm really excited about the Horticultural Charcoal, especially for the Thai constellation, because I've heard that monsteras do like to have charcoal in their soil mix. So yeah, I'm super excited to make a mix with that. I think that it's going to be really good, especially for the Thai constellation. Closer to You has been kind enough to send me a discount code. So I will link everything down below, and I'll put the code up on the screen. But with the code, you can save an additional 10% off of the charcoal and the Orchid Bark. I do make commission from this code, so don't feel pressured to use it. But if you're looking for different additives to add into your soil mix, and you just kind of want to test out to see which ones that you think might be good, this might be a good opportunity to get some. Okay, so the mix that I'm going to use, I'm just going to pour the proportions in. I pretty much just mix it by eye just to make sure that it looks a bit chunkier so that there's good drainage. But I start by putting in just regular potting mix. This is just regular, like finely ground up sphagnum moss. So I put that in there. And then next I'm going to add in some Orchid Bark. This Orchid Bark is made of 100% natural and organic pine bark. The size of the pieces ranges from 0.39 inches to 1.18 inches, which I think is a good blend, and you're not getting any of those long skinny stick pieces that are hard to pot up like you might see in some other orchid barks. It's great to help with water retention and aeration. And it's also very fast draining, so I like to mix this in with a lot of my potting mixes for orchids, philodendron, Hoya, and monstera. And it also works as a pretty soil covering in your pots if you just like the aesthetic look of Orchid Bark. And then I'm going to add in some of the Horticultural Charcoal. So this charcoal is 100% natural hardwood charcoal. There are no chemicals, coloring, or additives included in this horticultural charcoal. It's great for terrariums, houseplants, indoor and outdoor plant pots. And the benefits of using horticultural charcoal is that it's good for soil aeration, drainage, water retention, and there is bioactive support, which means that it establishes beneficial microbes like bacterial and fungal colonies, and that helps to prevent root rot. But now I'm going to put the lid on this box and I'm just going to shake it up so that way it blends pretty evenly. And then, as you can see, this pretty much just made like a very nice, like chunky mix. So it'll help retain the moisture that it needs, but it will still be pretty well draining, which is good because I've also heard that monstera tie constellations, a lot of people that I watch, including Fern, as a lot of you probably watch, they tend to have some issues with rot. And I definitely don't want to contribute to that by putting it into a substrate that is going to be prone to root rot. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that you can see everything here, but what I have is my tie constellation, and I'm just going to unpot her from the substrate that she's currently in. I'm just going to move that out of the way. It does have a pretty small root system, and I want to keep it in more of a clear pot. So I picked this pot right here, which might be a bit big, but I want to be able to see the roots as they come in and be able to check on them. And it is going to be living in my IKEA cabinet, so it should be okay. So first I'm just going to take a little bit of my mix and put it into the bottom of the pot. And then I want to position it so that way I can still kind of see the roots. So on the side over here, I'm going to put one of the roots. And then I'm going to fill around here with more mix. And then the perfect part about doing this on top of a potting mat is everything that you lost out of the pot while you were potting it, you can pretty much just roll your mat up and dump it right back into the box and you don't lose any of it, which is great. So I'm just going to leave this like this. It's in a pretty well draining soil and it's going to be living in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. I think it's going to really like the soil upgrade and really help promote it to root, which is great. Miss Tie Constellation. And next is this mini orchid. I got this orchid from a coworker when I was offered a job position, and it was kind of just like a going away gift, which was really sweet of her because she knows that I love houseplants. So I got this about April of 2022, and I did have it attached to this pole, so I'm hoping that repotting it will help promote new growth. And I think it wasn't really liking the moss. As you can see, I have some dead roots here. I'm just going to get my pruners and cut those off. I'm going to cut off the old flower sticks since they are dried out and dead, and cut back to where I can see healthy roots. Okay, so that is looking much better. I don't know if you can see it. And it has new growth coming out. This is the most recent leaf, and then it's putting out another one right here. And then I think what's going to really benefit this plant is putting it into a slightly bigger pot because it was drying out really quick, and I think that all of the rot that I had was more of a dry rot situation where I basically underwatered it and then the roots dried out too much, and then when I watered it again they rotted because they were too dry to absorb any water. So I'm going to pot it up into this right here. So I'm gonna start by putting a bit more bark in the bottom. And then I'm gonna take some of the mix that I already made that has a bit more of the charcoal in it, which will help with the rot. And then I'm just gonna use the stick that it came with to kind of move that around in there a lot, just so that way it gets mixed up and it is more barky all the way through. Okay, so now I'm just gonna make more of a hole in the middle for my orchid to sit in. I'm just gonna set it in here just like this, and then kind of move the mixture around it. It's now probably gonna take off growing because it has fresh soil and fresh bark in it, which it hasn't had since I got it in August last year. And yeah, it should take off growing pretty good. I'm going to water these up and then I will keep you updated on how they do. Okay, so here are my two plants after potting them up. Here is my Thai constellation. I just watered them both, and I have this clear little drip tray for in my cabinet, so when I water it in there it won't get water everywhere. But yeah, I think it's gonna do really well in this soil. As you can see, it's got a pretty good mix, and it's pretty chunky, so it'll help with drainage, so hopefully the roots that grow won't stay too sopping wet for too long when it gets watered. But yeah, I'm super excited about this plant, and I can't wait for it to put out a new leaf in my care. And then here is the orchid all potted up. You can see like the newest leaf that's coming in. I'm super excited about this one. I've had it for a while and I just haven't really put a lot of care into it, and I really want to try to get it to bloom again, so I'm really happy that I was able to repot this one as well. I think in a couple months I will do maybe like an update of all of my recent plants that I've repotted and since introduced to my collection, just to like kind of show you like the progress that they've made, especially going into this growing season. I think these ones are going to do really well now that we're finally in spring and the weather is starting to warm up, especially in Ohio. I'm so happy. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing a video like that where you can see a lot of my plant updates, let me know in the comments below. And I just want to remind you that I have that code that you can use to get an additional 10% off of the Horticultural Charcoal and Orchid Bark. I will leave all of the information in the description below if that's something that you're interested in. So far I think that these additives both have been pretty good, and I'm excited to see how the plants do with them. But yeah, if you were considering adding either of those into your soil, it might be just a good option to add them in, or you can get it with a discount. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell, and then you'll be notified of any new plant videos that I come out with. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!